Hello everybody and welcome back to a brand new episode of the NASCAR Heat 5 Career Mode. I hope you're all having a great day today. We have the final four cutoff race at Iowa in the Cup Series as well for the other series at Martinsville. But first, we have some huge news here in the NASCAR Heat 5 Career Mode for silly season. Big news in the silly season breaks today as Roush Fenway announces that NBA superstar and legend LeBron James has bought into the team with a major investment and now will co-own the team of Roush Fenway Racing. The team will be rebranded to Roush-Lebron Racing for this final upcoming season of the NASCAR Heat 5 Career Mode. This isn't, though, the only big news from the team, as Roush has also managed to sign JGR driver Christopher Bell to drive the 17 car next season in place of Chris Buescher, who will be moving back down to the Xfinity series, actually going to the JGR program in a shocking late season move. This is the final big silly season announcement ever in the NASCAR Heat 5 Career Mode, and I wanted to make a big statement right at the end going into that final season, and there it was. So I hope you guys are excited to see how that is going to turn out. As you guys know, LeBron, he's actually invested with Fenway in real life, so this is not far-fetched. This is not like unrealistic. It's actually something that, I mean, kind of works in this scenario here, so very excited to see how that team's going to play out. You're going to see a performance increase from that team for sure next season with this big investment from NBA legend LeBron James. But now we come through into the race weekend here. We were at Martinsville Speedway for the Final Four cutoff race in the Truck Series. We had Tristan Rivers in the truck for us here today now, as when it comes to Martinsville, we know whoever's in the truck, whoever's in our Xfinity car, or if I'm in the Cup car, we always know we're going to have a chance to win at this racetrack. We know we're at least going to be in the top 5, top 3 likely here. So Tristan, though, was moving his way throughout the field very quickly. He was on the attack now up the inside of the 40 there of Gutierrez, and as it came through at a turn 2, he was already up into the 4th position. He had struggled to move his way forwards quickly after that, but he would run down the number 13 and out of turn 2, sure enough, another pass right there. So up into P3, and then late in the race up the inside of the 16 of Moffitt there as he came through out of turns 4, and he would now take second place. But unfortunately, that was as far as Tristan Rivers got right there, was the P2. So as we came through out of turns 4, down the front straightaway, Tristan Rivers comes through to cross the line in second place, which he did exactly what we needed him to do, as Brett Holmes did pick up the victory there, as Austin Hill's in the 16, by the way, not Moffitt. But so overall, a great race for us with Tristan behind the wheel, and that will get our Truck Series team into the Final Four here for, I think, like the 3rd season in a row at least now in the career mode. So we're going to have a chance to go for another championship here at Phoenix Raceway for the Truck Series, and as you guys know, Xfinity will go to Phoenix as well for the championship race, but the Cup Series goes to Las Vegas Motor Speedway. But first, we have that Xfinity Series race to take care of, and we had Paul Menard, of course, as usual, behind the wheel, our full-time driver, and he started on pole, so it was looking really good for him here. Now, as you see, Tony Brindinger, she was struggling all weekend long, but fortunately for her, she has such a points gap over the cut line that really nothing is going to be able to take her out of missing this Final Four now. So Paul, he comes into this race only a handful of points to the good. I don't even know if we're 10 points above the cut line. I think we're like 5 points or something like that above, if that. So Paul, of course, starting P1, doing exactly what he needed to be doing to comfortably get into that Final Four race at Phoenix Raceway. And once we completed this first lap here and he was up ahead of the 7 of Allgaier, absolutely nothing happened after this point. So we're going to cut straight through all the way to the final lap of this race, and the gap honestly really didn't change between Menard and Allgaier. It was about 4 or 5 car lengths the whole race here. As it came through out of turns 4, Paul Menard would win his way into the Final Four here from Martinsville Speedway, and now it was just down to who are the other drivers going to be. We know Bradinger likely made it. Caruth, he won his way in to the Final Four, and he was probably going to make it on points as well. So really only one spot available now other than Menard, Caruth, and Bradinger. So who is it going to be? Kevin Magnussen, he was up there in the mix the whole time here. The first time he ever made the playoffs in his Xfinity Series career. Does he make the Final Four? It's going to be very close, but he comes up 6 points short as Justin Allgaier is the final car in. So it'll be Paul Menard, Rajah Caruth, Tony Bradinger, and Justin Allgaier going for a championship. So now we come through into the Cup Series race here at Iowa, the Final Four cutoff race before Las Vegas Motor Speedway. We come into this race in a very fascinating position. We were over 30 points above the cut line going into Mid-Ohio. We came out of Mid-Ohio 13 points above the cut line. So we're going to have an updated points situation going on throughout the race. There's actually made a mistake in qualifying out of turn 4. I hit the outside wall. That killed the lap here, and we come through to cross the line with a 23.725 and qualify P26 here from Iowa. So it's going to be a tough battle now, as we started off really rough in the first race here this season, and then by the end of the race we really got going forwards and had a nice strong top 5 finish. So hopeful that it will be the same here today, as Joey Logano, the guy on the outside looking in trying to beat us on points, only starts in like P21. Kyle Busch, who's at 1 point ahead of us, starts in 4th place, as Kyle Larson is on pole, joined by Tyler Reddick on the front row and Noah Gragson there in P3. Alright boys, pretty straightforward today. Honestly, if we just beat the 22 and we don't have a guy below him and points win, then I mean there's no reason we don't make the Final Four. So pretty straightforward. He's only starting P21. I think we're going to have an easy time here. There you hear myself on the radio to the team here as we're going to get ready to take the green flag for the final race of the round of 8. The Final Four is going to be determined. Only one guy is safe right now, and that is Brandon Jones. He won last episode to get into the Final Four. Denny Hamlin in his final season is currently well above the cut line and looking like he will be safe on points to make it into the Final Four. So it comes down between myself, Kyle Busch, and Joey Logano on points, unless someone else below Logano that's in that round of 8 wins here today in Iowa. Now as the green flag is out and we are underway, so we come into this race 13 points above the cut line. Not the safest gap in the world, but I was definitely pretty comfortable having 13 points over that number 22 of Joey Logano. We think about the majority of this season of the NASCAR Heat 5 career mode. It's been a very up and down season, but overall, for the majority of the season, we've run better than Joey Logano. So I wasn't too concerned here now. This first stage, I didn't really know what to expect here because we started so far down in that order. So I knew this first stage, we were going to be playing catch up the whole time, but as long as that 22 doesn't get into stage points and get up towards the top 5, I think we're going to be in pretty solid shape going into that second and third and final stage. So we made a 4 wide right off the bat here, and you're going to see that throughout this episode. There was some 4 wide, there was even a moment with some 5 wide here now as we go down into turns 3, and as you guys know, I like to run up on this third lane here, and I've gotten a lot of experience at Iowa over the last few days. The Nitro League just ran at this track the other night. I'm going to put that episode up tomorrow on Tuesday for you guys to see, and then we also went there in the iRacing Nitro Series on Sunday night. There's a bit of a mistake for myself, got very sideways through turns 1 and 2, and we were only running P27, not the start we were looking for in the first 3 laps of this race, and we had actually gained absolutely nothing so far. Still down to P26, but now we were starting to work our way forwards here as we came through to lap 6, now to P23, passing Brad Keselowski, who has to pretty much win to get into the round of 4. Now as Bubba Wallace was leading the way, you saw in the pre-race, it was looking like Bubba Wallace is going to be very strong here today from Iowa. Now as we get past that number 10 of Matt DiBenedetto, and we were just slowly starting to get those positions now and just work our way forwards. Now there's actually already trouble behind us, though, through turns 3 and out of turns 4. William Byron went around and he collected the future McLaren driver of Sam Mayer in that 99 car. So caution comes out already, and everybody is going to be staying out here, so we're going to get ready to go green from P22. Here's what was a bit concerning, though, for me, is Joey Logano was already almost right up towards that top 10, so that was not a good sight for us now. And Kyle Busch, he's running up there inside like the top 5, so it's going to get interesting here. I was realizing real quick that 22 has a lot more speed than I had originally anticipated in that Shell Pennzoil Mustang there for Team Penske. Now, as I go all the way up to that third line right off the bat here in turns 1 and 2, I know we can make up a good chunk of positions on these restarts using this outside. Bubba Wallace looking very strong here today. He just picked up his 2nd win on the season and 2nd career win just a few episodes ago at Kansas Speedway. And what could have been if Bubba Wallace would have made it to the round of 8? He got eliminated in the round of 12, and then a race later he goes and wins at Kansas, and that would have put him in the Final 4 going into Las Vegas in the next episode now. And not sure, even if we do make the Final 4 here today, it's going to be a tough race. When we went to Las Vegas earlier this season, we were terrible. We weren't anywhere near a top 10 car, so obviously if we do make that Final 4, we need to find something at Las Vegas, because if we bring that same speed there, we're not even going to be a threat for a championship now. As we also get past Denny Hamlin, he's probably not going to be the most aggressive here tonight in Iowa. He's just trying to hang in there and make it into that Final 4 without any issues. But we cut straight through to the final lap here of stage 1. Only 16 lap stage here in Iowa, and we were now passing Harrison Burton. We're not going to get a top 10. That's the problem as we go down this back straightaway. Kyle Busch, he's up in there about 2nd place. Joey Logano had gotten into the top 5 as this stage was coming to a close as we come through out of turns 4, and that was the big concern. We come through to cross the line, no stage points for us. We get P13. Speaking of 13th, we were 13 points above the cut line coming into this race. Well, Joey Logano just gained 7 points on us after stage 1. So that was definitely not what we were looking for, of course, to have happen, as I'm going to give you guys a live points update here in just a moment. But we come into the pit lane, I make a slight wedge adjustment to try and tighten up the car a little bit, actually. And of course, we do 4 tires, 2 cans of fuel, and we come in P13. So not exactly where we want to be, of course. And the situation right now is we are 6 points above the cut line over Joey Logano, and Kyle Busch is 16 to the good. So this is a crucial second stage that is now underway here in the final 4 cutoff races, and now is time to get amped. You saw it all right there in amped. Kyle Larson goes around here in Iowa after he just sailed it off into turn 3, drove right into the left side of our car. I don't think I came down. I might have come down a little bit, but he clearly went way up. So he made a lot more of a move than I did, and unfortunately he pays the price. And of course the Hendrick Motorsports teammate comes together with myself, and around he goes. Nobody coming into the pit lane, but now Joey Logano is up into the 2nd position. The concerns are building because right now if we finish like this in stage 2, we are going to be below the cut line now as a green flag is out, and we are back underway here from Iowa Speedway now with less than 10 laps to go in this 2nd stage. So clearly we're not in a good spot. We're running out of time, and right here I make a big mistake on this restart, and this was simply because I didn't really know what I wanted to do. I was almost already hitting that panic button here, seeing that 22 speed and of course the 18. This was a worst nightmare scenario right here because now Logano and Busch are 3 wide just about for the lead, but they're running P1, P2. That is just the worst case scenario for myself to happen right now in Iowa Speedway. So very, very nervous I was there as we make a pass on the 14 of Chase Briscoe. As guys know, he goes to Penske Racing next season in that number 12 car, as Daniel Hemrick will be on the outside of the Penske Racing team now, as we are going to look up the inside of as well of the 96 of Brandon Jones, and we're going to try and get in front of him. So we were moving our way forwards now. We were at least up inside of the top 10 here as we went down into turns 1. Joey Logano, though, he would take the lead briefly away from Kyle Busch. We'll come through a little bit later now on lap 10 through turns 1 out of turns 2. Logano still leading the way over that 18 car now, and I was really hoping that Joey was not going to win this stage, but it was really starting to look like he was going to win this stage, and I was realizing now that we need to at least get as many points as possible here, be as aggressive as we need to be to make sure we can at least be maybe tied with Joey going into that 3rd and final stage to minimize the damage that is being done right now to our whole season on the line all of a sudden as we come through at a turn 2 side by side with Hemrick. We would end up in this nice little battle with him, as well as the 2 of Ryan Preece, the 23 of Bubba Wallace, who was just running there up in front of us now as we came through out of turns 4. Just 3 laps to go in the stage once we cross the line right there. So Logano continuing to lead. He's now a good 2, 3, maybe even 4 car lengths ahead of Kyle Busch in that M&M's Toyota Camry. Now as we came through out of turns 4, Hammer gets past both myself and Bubba. We're going to now make it through rewind. We have enough momentum to do that with 2 to go here in stage 1. Points on the line, and they are so important now here as we come through turns 1 and out of turns 2. I clipped the apron right there, but it doesn't affect me too much. Bubba Wallace drops back now down to the 8th position, one of the fastest cars on the day so far, having a bit of a rough stage 2. We slided into the corner, we cleared the 12, but we slid up the track, and that opened the door for Bubba Wallace to get clear, and now Hemrick fights back up the inside here on this final lap of stage 2. Logano leading the way now by a good half second over Kyle Busch as we come through out of turn 2. We're going to be side by side just about, but we get clear of Hemrick down the backstretch into turns 3. And Joey Logano doing exactly what we do not want him to be doing. He wins stage 2. He beat us in stage 1. We come through out of turns 4. We cross the line to finish P7 here in the second stage. So what does that mean exactly? Well, we came into stage 2 6 points above the cut line. Joey Logano just got 6 more points than us in stage 2, and Kyle Busch, he loses a point. So Kyle Busch is 15 points above the cut line going into this third and final stage. Myself and Joey Logano are tied for the final spot here going into stage 3, which means whoever finishes in front of each other between myself and Joey will advance to the final 4, and obviously Joey has been outrunning us all race long, so definitely concerns are high at this point, and now we are running out of time with Logano and Kyle Busch on the front row. Kyle Busch, of course, being 15 points above the cut line, unless something goes wrong for him, he is going to no problem make it into this final 4 as we are now underway for the third and final stage. 33 laps remain, and these are going to be the most important 33 laps of the season so far here for Hendrick Motorsports in this 2014. We're the only Hendrick driver that's won this season. We're the defending Cup Series champion. It's not been the best season, of course. We, at this point last season, had, I think, 7 wins already. So now we have 4, of course. We're still having a strong season as we come through out of turns 4, but we're at risk of getting eliminated. As of right now, at the start of this third stage, we are outside of the final 4 with Joey Logano being just in front of us at all. I mean, if we finish in front of Joey by 1 spot, we make the final 4. If Joey finishes in front of us by 1 spot, he makes the final 4. It's a very straightforward situation here in stage 3, and Joey driving away here in the beginning laps of this final stage. Hamlin up there in second. Bubba Wallace climbing his way back forwards as we go down towards turns 1 here. Kyle Busch in P5. He's starting to drift down the order a little bit, but he's going to have to finish down in like 20th to 25th if he's going to get eliminated, and realistically we all know that's not going to happen here. Now as we go down this backstretch into turns 3, the 96 is going to drive into the side of me. Brandon Jones, who's already locked into the final 4, gets into us. He goes sideways. That moved us up the track. We do keep it going in the right direction. We do not hit the wall, thank goodness. And now as we came through to lap 42, getting very aggressive, we made it 5 wide with Kyle Busch, Eric Jones, Ryan Preece, and Kyle Larson. Preece and Jones back out of it, and now we're up in P7. Logano continuing to lead the way, but Bubba Wallace was up now to second place, closing in on him very quick now as we came through the turns 4 side by side with the 3-time Cup Series champion of Kyle Busch now, as he would like to, of course, make that final 4 and try to tie Jeff Gordon for 4 Cup Series championships here as we come through out of turns 2, and now he would actually get clear of us now as he had more speed than me, of course, and it was very hard to get around him now as we came through to lap 45, making it 3 wide with Derek Krause, the 2311 driver, teammates to Bubba Wallace. Now behind us, though, the Going Racing driver of Daniel Suarez goes around in turns 1. The caution is going to come out. Looks like he blew a tire right there, and this is going to force everybody onto the pit lane. I made a call here to give up track position. I realized I don't have speed for that 22 car of Joey Logano, so I took 4 tires, put fuel in it, and give up 14 positions and drop down to P20. The way I looked at it is the only way we can make this final 4 at this point is, of course, to beat the 22 of Joey Logano, but the only way I could do that was to find some type of advantage that he does not have, and the only way I could really come up with to do that was taking more tires than him. So hopefully here by the end of this race, this tire advantage really comes into our favor now, but of course we got to be quick. We got to move our way through this field. There's only 22 laps to go, coming to 21 to go. Bubba Wallace back out in front as he comes through out of turns 4. He's looking for that 3rd win on the season. You saw in the pre-race he was looking very, very fast, so definitely going to be hard for anybody to beat that 23 of Bubba Wallace now as Kyle Busch is back up in a second. Logano giving up some positions. He got stuck on the outside line, and when the AI get up on the outside, they really drop down the order. When I'm on the outside, of course, I feel the most comfortable, and I feel faster than I am on the inside. So we come through at a turn 4, some contact with the 96. I really roughed up Brandon Jones right there because I just didn't really care. I wanted to move my way forward. So we came through now a little bit later on lap 53. Logano continuing to fall down the order. We're getting closer and closer. We're 3 wide here with the number 4 of Haley Deegan and the number 19 of Harrison Burton. Now as Bubba continues to lead the way, and he was also driving away. He had no competition whatsoever at this point. So it was looking very good for him, and now we're still closing in, though, on that number 22 of Logano. And what was allowing me to close in was he was running a higher line, and I don't know what he was doing. This is still, I mean, it was helping me, but this is such a frustrating thing in NASCAR Heat, and I hope this is not present in the next NASCAR game, where the AI will go to a line, and they lose so much speed, but they're just so committed to running that line, and they don't care about being the slowest car on track. They refuse to run the faster line. That needs to 100% be changed in the next NASCAR game now, as we would get past the 19 of Harrison Burton. But now, on lap 58, you can see how close we were to the back of Joey Logano. He's continuing to run that outside line. It was like he was intentionally just trying to give me that free spot in the final four. So now, as we come through turn 3, we're getting closer and closer to the back of the 22 of Joey Logano, with just over 10 laps to go here in the final four cutoff race at Iowa Speedway now, as we are right to the back bumper of him through turns 1 and 2. We actually give him a little bit of a bump through turns 1 and 2. Not enough to get him out of the way right there. I tried to look to the inside, didn't quite work out, so I ride behind him through the back straightaway now into turns 1 on lap 60. Unfortunately, Joey actually drops back down to the inside, and as soon as he did that, he was just blowing my doors off, so I realized that it was not looking good once he dropped down to that inside. Now, we're also, though, going to be able to get past that 21 of Anthony Alfredo just about, but out of turn 4, he actually remains up my inside there as I get a little bit sideways coming through to cross the line. 10 laps to go in this race here as we're going into turns 1 and 2. Bubba Wallace continuing to drive away. Kyle Busch well up inside the top 5. No pressure for him whatsoever. Actually, I believe he was in P6, so not the top 5 yet. But then 62 laps in, coming to the final 8 laps, Logano driving away, but he moves back up to the top. This is going to open the door for us to get closer here as we go down into turns 1. So now the fight is back on here in the final 8 laps. Getting closer and closer. We know we're going to have to get aggressive. We know we're going to have to get physical. It's between myself and my rival to make it into the final 4 for that last spot. Now coming to lap 65, 6 laps to go. Even closer here as we come through out of turns 4, coming through to cross that line. The 23 continues to open up the gap. The smoke up ahead is from the 18 of Kyle Busch. He blows a tire into turns 1. The caution's going to come out, and he is going to come through right onto the track. We're going to slam into him, and that brings the question, of course, are we even going to be able to have a good restart without the car being really slow? But now all of a sudden Kyle Busch is out of the race. So myself and Joey Logano are now all of a sudden in prime position to make it into the final 4. This whole race we have been losing points all the way up to 6 laps to go. We look like we were going to miss the final 4. Kyle Busch is out, and now myself and Joey Logano are going to be the 2 drivers getting in from the looks of it here now, as we're going to get ready to go green. What a change of events here all of a sudden in Iowa. You sure enough can see the 18 car on the pit lane. Kyle Busch is done, and our car actually gets a good launch here, so we're in good shape. Now Kyle comes into this final stage 15 points above the cut line, so if something goes wrong between myself and Logano, who are side by side right here, one of us wreck each other and we drop down to maybe 27th, 28th, well, Kyle Busch still gets in and we get eliminated. So as we go down this back straightaway, 2 laps to go at the line. Bubba Wallace continuing to lead. I had a really weird corner right there, and now is out of turns for contact with the 22 of Logano. We keep it going in the right direction, but it's getting physical here. We're both going to make it into the next round, but we're still going at it, and Joey into turns 1 tries to wreck me, and he fails miserably and sends himself sliding, and he gives up about 20 positions and now drifts way down the order, and all of a sudden Joey Logano's final 4 hopes are up in the air here as we come through to the final lap of this race out of turns 4, right on the back of the 9 of Elliott, who has to win to get in, and all of a sudden we are well above the cut line as we cross the line to start this final lap. We spent the whole race losing points with 10 laps to go. It was looking like there was no chance of making it into that final 4 unless we got to that 22 and moved him out of the way, but into turns 3 and 4 for the final time here. Harrison Burton slides up in front of us. Bubba Wallace comes through to win his 3rd race on the season, his 2nd win in the last 3 races, and we come through to cross the line to not finish in the top 10, but it does not matter. We beat the 22 of Logano, and of course that didn't even matter at that point because 18 of Kyle Busch DNF'd, and now the question is, did Joey Logano gain enough spots there in the last lap to beat Kyle Busch into the final 4? Logano needed at least 25th. He got 30th. Joey Logano, in an attempt to take me out in turns 1 with 2 laps to go, ended up taking himself out of the final 4. And now you're going to see Kyle Busch, myself, Denny Hamlin, and Brandon Jones will fight for a championship. I was in shock at this point. There's no way we should have been in this final 4, considering what it looked like with 10 laps to go, and we were clearly the slowest guy of these final four here in this whole race, and I could not believe that we made it. So thank goodness that the 18 ended up blowing that tire. And I mean, Kyle Busch blowing that tire is the only thing that got me into the final four. So we lucked out there. And fortunately for Kyle, he makes it into the final four. It was looking like he was out. Logano tries to wreck us. He puts himself out. Kyle gets back in. We were on the outside looking in, and we get in right in the last few laps. So what a race. It's going to be one heck of a championship weekend here in the next episode for the Truck Series, Xfinity Series, as well as the Cup Series. I feel like I don't belong in the final four this season. So if we can manage to steal a championship at Las Vegas, I'm going to be very happy. But it's going to be a tough one. We struggled so hard there earlier this season. As always, though, if you guys enjoyed, you know what to do. I'd like to thank you all for taking the time out of your day to watch this episode and other ones on the channel. And of course, thank you to the Going Racing members of MJ, Joseph 9001, Timothy Arline, Bubba Jr., Brett Durward, Dark Gengar Gaming, AJ Vasura, Russell Dixon, Kenneth Barnett, Dana9302, as well as King Matt XL. I appreciate you guys so much. I'm going to have you guys on the car in the next episode with the members paint scheme, and I will see you guys in the next one. Have a great day, everybody.